I announced yesterday that there's something I unequivocally want to say good about Elon Musk. I have been looking for, this is actually about Trump as well. I've been honestly trying and feel like I'm, I don't know, being open to new ideas and find things that are getting signed in executive orders that I am supportive of. And I found something, but I want to give a bit of a caveat. Okay, 2 days ago, Donald Trump vowed to cut billions of dollars from U.S. defense spending, saying that fraud and abuse at the Pentagon will be Elon Musk's next target. I, on the face, love this. This is awesome. As I have mentioned, the only 4 things that are capable of actually making an impact on our debt, and one of them you can't touch, which is interest expense. You can't cut that. It's defense, Medicare, Social Security. That's it. So defense is the one that, you know, many people can agree is filled with waste. And he said he's going to seek to cut billions of dollars from the Pentagon budget as the next big target. And it's going to be the next in the billionaire sites. We're going to find billions, hundreds and billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. The people elected me on that. And I think they did. I think in a way, the people did elect him on the idea that, hey, we need to stop this insane government overspending. I think totally, okay? I think that's real, and I hope they do it. There is worries, as I brought up in this article, that Elon Musk has many contracts with the military, including through SpaceX and Starlink. And, you know, understandably, that creates a conflict of interest. Where is he the best guy to do this? Because he might not cut the things that give him money, and he might cut something else. But Elon said there's not a conflict of interest because they're going to be the appropriate firewalls. Okay, the real problem I have is that I don't think he's going to actually do it. But I'm open. I love this direction. I hope it happens. I'm going to watch it closely. But what I don't want is words. What I don't want is words and then a few tiny things get like picked up on. I want like a serious audit and a serious cutting of the budget. And people, I don't know, some people will get mad at me for not like immediately trusting them. And I just feel like I'm trying to explain my POV here because I talk about this all the time. People are like, why don't you love this? So you're always talking about cutting defense spending. Why are you happy? And I feel like I am Frodo and I am sitting there looking at Gollum, and I've been like, you know what we need to do? We need to get this ring into the fires of Mount Doom. We need to get this ring into the fires of Mount Doom. And then Gollum goes, yeah, that's a great idea. Let me do it. Like, give me the ring and I'll do it. And then you guys are all like, what? You said that's what you wanted. You said you wanted the ring. He's saying the same thing you are. Why do you not trust him? And it's like, bro, there's so many obvious conflicts of interest. He has a history of lying and being self-serving. And so I don't, it's not like I disagree with them on the idea. We're saying the same thing. I disagree with you on the execution. I don't feel like you're gonna do the actual job. I feel like you might yoink that ring at the end. That is my opinion. I have a Gollum-pilled opinion when I hear these things. But at the very least, we are hearing them. So I'm gonna watch this actually closely. It's most important thing to me is that we make actual serious budget cuts, and in the one area we still can, and not just saying it for a good tweet. Oh, dude, follow up before we do anything else. I gotta follow up on this. So yesterday, I talked about how Trump was saying we should cut the military budget and clean up some of the fraud there. And Elon Musk is being tasked to do it. It's one of the things he's going to do. And I said, that's a good idea. I don't know that I trust him. I don't know if he's the right choice, but I at least agree with it in spirit. And I did the whole Gollum metaphor. Well, fucking 1 day later, we find out that the U.S. State Department has a budget line for armored Cybertrucks for $400 million. By the way, that's like we saved 80 million from not doing the penny, and we're spending 400 million on armored Cybertrucks. And that's, by the way, 400 million is not all that's being spent. There's other line items. Like you can see the pretty low res, but it has like other armored sedans and things that also could be going through Tesla. It's like 50 million here, 60 million here. So it's fucking crazy. Is he gonna cut those? That sounds like an easy cut. That sounds like if you're gonna do an olive branch, hey, I'm really committed to cutting waste. You could start with that. Cut the $400 million contract. It was a bad start. It was a bad look to start out my interest in that task. But he is, apparently, Elon did say, he's going to spend the next 4 months working on Doge alone. We'll see. I mean, I think it's going to be 90% tweeting, a little less Doge. I feel very sad for his friends in Path of Exile. They don't get to play with him, but it would be frustrating as a Tesla investor. Like as a Tesla shareholder, the guy's already been an absentee CEO, and now he's 4 months on Doge. I guess as long as they get a $400 million contract with the government, that's a huge chunk of their fucking earnings now because they're dropping. My staff does the contract, so there's no conflict of interest. That's so stupid. It would actually be, you know what's funny is it wouldn't even cost him much. It wouldn't cost his personal wealth anything at all. And he could send a really strong anti-corruption signal by canceling this contract. If he goes, you know what, we got to cut fraud, we got to cut waste. I'm going to start with this $400 million Cybertruck thing. It'd be such a dope move. He cuts it and signs $600 million. The 60 chess is to add it in order to cut it? Yeah, dude. Now that would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. Dude, negotiate a terrible contract that's really good for you in order to cut it publicly so you can prove that you're committed to the cause. That'd be amazing. But this predates Doge, this contract. So it would have been really extra planned. Can he actually say that publicly without legal backlash as Tesla CEO? That is interesting. I mean, his duty to the job of Doge is to cut all waste, but his duty as CEO of Tesla is to maximize profits for shareholders, both of which would be able to sue him for not doing their duty if he, maybe that's why we shouldn't have a massive business leader who does contracts with the government be in charge of deciding which ones get cut. Maybe that's why there's an inherent conflict of interest in having the world's richest man, a lot of whom money come from the government, be in charge of the government spending. It's like some sort of conflict of interest. Some sort of quote, conflict. He has no incentive to look like a good guy. He's proving he doesn't need to buy any good with anyone. No, dude, that's the thing. That's why it's so crazy to me, is because for someone like Elon, who has so many rabid fans, if you give them any bit of meat, you toss the dogs any meat, anything actually good, it's like you've made their decade. If he were to cut, that'll last forever. I mean, if he just did one unironically good thing, like if he just did like, hey, I'm gonna cut this contract of my own, bro, he could shoot a man the next day and they'd have that forever. But he's just not giving him any. He's giving him so little. They'll make anything work. They'll make any action look good, but the actually good stuff would actually go a long way. Why are some states creating Bitcoin reserves? I don't believe any state is doing this. I hope not. As I've said over and over again, any state government or US government creating a Bitcoin reserve is going to be a catalyst for me to consider leaving the country. I actually think that is an end game clock on the sanctity of our money. It is essentially a taxpayer bailout of Bitcoin owners. It actually is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. It is literally only wealthy crypto people lobbying government as hard as they can to pump their bags on taxpayers' dimes. It is one of the most horrendous ideas I've ever heard. And if it happens, like if it goes through, especially on a national level, it's gonna make me seriously rethink my future. I'm not kidding. I will make a serious rethink of that, because that is a terrible sign. That is a near end game level of corruption. But I don't think they will. And Trump coin wasn't. Trump coin is small potatoes compared to a national Bitcoin reserve, which would just be on the billions of dollars level, taxpayer money being sent to pump crypto bags. It's peak level of corruption. It does not benefit the average American. That is truly horrendous. It's like, it is just pillaging the country. That's what it is. Now, I don't think it's happening. Again, I'm very hopeful it's not gonna happen. People are talking about it. I don't think it's gonna happen. But if it does happen, I'm just dead serious. Like that's a big red line for me, because it's hard to come back from that. That's like a sign that like there's no more safeguards between moneyed power and the treasury. Like they're just looting the country. Would you consider leaving America if there was no more coffee? That would be such a disaster. If the US government puts 100 trillion into Bitcoin, waits for other countries and firms to do the same till it reaches 250 trillion, then rug pulls it, I think that'd be a big W. Bro is trying to turn a nation state level rug pull, a global rug pull. I like that your conservative estimate for what we put in is $100 trillion. The current national debt built up over the history of this country is 32 trillion. But you're gonna go straight hundo trill right off the rip. And you're gonna assume that every other country is gonna put in 150 more trillion. This is a good idea. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm trying to find faults with it, and it sounds so flawless.